Welcome to Fixing Assets, and welcome to a new method that I'm going to use, 3D printing. That was the LED going off. Yes, I've decided to go 3D printing, so we are currently in my spare bedroom sorting out the 3D printer. I've done a little bit on it, so we're going to try printing our first prototype of a car part, or the first few anyway. Let's get on with it. Right, today's plan is to take some dimensions of the things I want to prototype. So, I've got this hole here, which has slots in for something. I think for that we'll have to devise something. We've got this slot here, which has cutouts. We've got this slot here, which I do have an idea of. So, the easy one's the vent. And I know that I can get an actual vent to print out of that. So I've measured the hole, roughly made an estimate how much the curve is, and we'll make that clearer. Now this is the lighter hole, so what I've done is I've worked out the width and the width of that. I do need to work out the height as well, which is about 30 millimeters plus a little bit for the curve. Now realistically, I'm not going to be too, as long as something fits in there and it can be square off there, I'm going to be happy. And it's probably going to be something that either clips over there or clips into, there's like some little brackets in there. I don't know if you see them there. There is actually something that'll hold something there, so if I can make it so that it goes in there, I'll be relatively pleased. And then this hole, I've measured the width, the depth, roughly the diameter, and the thickness of this bit here, and these tags here. And in theory it should pull in from the back. There's nothing for it to fix onto, unfortunately, apart from bending those tags. So what we'll do is we're going to need to prototype all this stuff to make sure we've got the dimensions right, and then base what the final product's going to be off that. Now the other thing I was thinking about doing was putting integral 3D printed ones of those in, but what I want to do with that slot there, the stereo outlet, is put power supplies in, etc. Possibly a phone mount to go here. but mainly the thing I do want to do is I want to put an Android screen in. So the work I'm doing now involves some software called FreeCAD, sorry. And what we need to do is we need to draw a 2D shape, make sure all of the points are linked together so that they can't move. And then, I mean, this here's when I first started, so I was working out how to do it. Wasn't good at the start, but once it's in the software and you've got a shape, and you're happy with the shape, what you then do is you pad it out. Now, padding it out basically turns that 2D shape into a 3D shape. So it's a bit like prismization, i.e. you turn it into a long shape. So a square would turn into a cube and stuff like that. So you see that's now very big coming out the back. So now what we want to do is we want to put the top on the vent. So that needs to be bigger. So as you can see, that shape's bigger. And what you'll do is you'll link it to the side of the original shape that we've just done. And then make sure it's all linked up and arranged in reference to that shape. And then again pad that out so that it's a couple of millimeters thick, so you can see there. Now the next thing that I've done is I've decided to cut a hole for some wires. Now this was a failed attempt because, again, reminding you that this is the first thing that I'd done with FreeCAD, and I could now probably do this entire thing in about a quarter of an hour, not to brag or anything, but what you do is, in order to put a hole for the wires to go through, because this is going to also hold the Android Auto screen, so there's some wires got to go down the back, so you've got to create a hollow, which I've done there. You do the 2D shape, then you cut it away all the way through. And this is it in the slicer being the software that tells it how to print it. So you load up the 3D model, and then you pick the parameters, how thick you want the walls, how thick you want everything in it, how solid you want it to be. And then once you're happy with that, you tell it to print. Well, this is the one I went with. It's the Elegoo Neptune 4 Max, picked purely because of the price and the size of the stuff it can print. Now, as you can see, I've glued it up. They sell you expensive stuff, but I've just got bog standard glue stick there. Seems to work okay. Now, the filament is bog standard PLA plus, as you can see there, and you can see what I'm printing on the screen. You can also see it's done 0 minutes and it's going to take 49. So I think what I need to do now is I need to go and have a nice drink, and we'll come back to it in a bit. Here we are. We'll try and release that off there. Give it a minute. There you go, that wasn't too difficult at all. It's made quite nice little thing. Okay, so we've got it here and it nearly goes in the hole. Probably about 1/2 millimetre either way. So this is version 2. I've put a hole in it which is supposed to be threaded, slightly thinner so that it goes in the hole. Let's hit the road and see if it fits. Okay, we are back. So that's how it should slip in. And there we go. Fits in the hole. Maybe you need it. I think 1 more millimetre either way will make that perfect. Now I need to find a bolt to test out that hole. Right, now I've printed the rest of the bracket, and this bit here is slightly too narrow, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try it on the car. And also I want a bolt come through from there and something that you can do up by hand. Okay, back once again like the Renegade Master with the ill behaviour. Here we've got version 3 of the vent thing, which sort of fits. Version 1 of the screen thing. 1 second, let's get that in a bit. Okay, so we've got this like this. Now the screen's looking like that, which is the wrong angle, but if you notice the weight of the screen's pulling it out of the hole a bit. If we do that, then the screen is still at the wrong angle. I reckon if we'll put a bend in the bracket, that'll likely improve things, and we need something to hold the back of that in place. I'm going to suggest perhaps a clip, but as it is, I think that's pretty decent. Actually, if you look at the front of that, could maybe put something in that. We'll work something out, but I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, next time we've got to work out something for that one and that one. But if you want to see more of this 3D printing lark, let us know in the comments. But for the moment, I think a tweak on that prototype. Keep this similar to what it is. Maybe if I'm happy with the dimensions, maybe if we put a clip in, because I mean it's not moving like prototype 2 did. So I'm happy with the shape of it. I'm just not 100% on the on this whole debacle. I think we need some form of clip. Anyway, now this is the final prototype before I go up to now you see what I've done. I wouldn't even say this is the probably the final product. What I've done is I've put clips that slide out like that in theory catch the other side of the metal. Once that's done, I'll push that in behind to wedge it closed, and the pressure of the screen and stuff should keep that in place. Okay, got a screw. If I do that, you can see it's just a normal screw. I've got a thumb tightening nut that goes on there, and then when I'm happy with that, I'm going to print out. This is printed in ABS. I'm going to also print in ABS or PLA some the holder. So if you want to see a more thorough 3D printing process, please hit me up in the comments and like the video, and you may see some more of it. This has been Fixing Assets, first video of 2026. Hopefully going to do a lot more this year. Peace out.